Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. What we're going to do today is a little bit of work on my SRAD. I've not done any videos with the SRAD before, but so this is the first one. What we're going to do in this is we're going to remove this rear hugger and replace it with a nice carbon fibre one which will match the front fender. I fitted a genuine carbon fibre fender to it because it looks nicer than the factory fitted carbon effect fender. So I've got myself a rear hugger to match. It was second hand, got it at a really nice price off of a Facebook group, and it's going to be better than the one that's on here now. This one's made by Pyramid, and around the rear edge here you can see it's got damage by stones which have stuck to the tyre and then been dragged around into it. So yeah, I'm not overly keen on this one. So let's make a start by getting the wheel off. Okay, big 36mm socket for the wheel nut and the brake bar. Take the weight of the wheel and pull the axle out. Okay. Now, take the weight of the wheel forward, pop the chain off, and then we can drop the wheel out. Just got to come backwards to remove it from the caliper. And there we are. Okay, so as you can see in here, you can see it's all been scratched by the stones that have ended up in. Yeah, it was. All of this damage happened when I went over. I rode along a road that has been recently surface dressed by the council. I'm sure everybody can agree that it's a ridiculous way of repairing roads, but it seems to be the option that the council go for nowadays. And all that happened was the sticky stones covered in tar stuck to the tyre and were dragged around and just absolutely obliterated the leading edge of this hugger, and it's left it looking pretty nasty. So yeah, it's got to go. In order to get it out, there's two bolts here on the top of the bracing for the swing arm, and then there's a bracket here which goes around the swing arm, and then once these bolts are out, it should come out pretty easily, and then we'll see what stones have been collected on the inside of here. Pop these bolts out. Oh, there's a stone dropping out.
those awkward jobs where you have to do everything a quarter of a turn at a time. Otherwise I'd have to take the exhaust can off just to get these 2 bolts out.
That's the second one. Then 10mm bolts. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to retain that bracketry because we may well need it for the new one. I'm not 100% sure on its fitment yet, but okay, there's the hugger out. These are those horrible stones covered in tar. Absolutely ridiculous. Thanks to the UK Council. And there's a few stuck inside the swing arm, so we'll give that a good clean as well. Okay, let's get inside and give it a good clean while we've got access. Okay. Right, here is replacement hugger. As you can see, real carbon. It's a nice bit of kit. It wasn't particularly expensive. You can, if you look around, you can find parts for the SRADs, the older SRADs, quite reasonably priced. This this little screw here looks like it lines up with the bobbin mount. Now, obviously, I've got a bobbin there, so I'm not going to be able to use this. But what I will do, I will figure something out. Maybe the bobbin mount, the actual bobbin bolt itself is long enough to reach this bracket. Well, I'll have to have a look, maybe with a few washers. Those 2 holes there obviously line up here, and this one here comes in here, and I've got a bolt for that there, and these 2 on this side. So first thing I'm going to do is take that bobbin mount out. Sorry, the bobbin itself even. Take that out, and then we can see what we've got to work with. Okay then. So they're fairly tight. Okay, so it is a pretty long bolt, so we may need to do something with this. Yeah, I reckon we could probably make that work. Okay, let's offer up the hugger. Get the bolts in this side. These little screws, Allen headed screws, just to hold it in position. Right. Okay, next thing. This sits on the inside of the swing arm just like that. Just there, and the mounting comes through from the bobbin mount, but there's a gap, so we need to fill it with spacers, which I've got several of from the bobbin mount itself. I mean, I've got a couple here, so we could probably make something with that, and a series of washers. It's whether the bolt itself is going to be long enough, but I think we may. Oops. But I think we may be able to get away with it. Okay, so Okay, so a few days have passed since removing the bolt from the paddock stand bobbin. What I did realise obviously was that it was never going to fit. It was too short. So what I've done is I've purchased one which is 10mm longer. Identical bolt in every way, it's just longer. And then what I can do, I can feed this through, refit the paddock stand bobbin, add the spacer and a nylon nut on the other end, and that will do the job perfectly. What I've also got is I've replaced all 3 of these bolts with identical ones, just for cosmetics really, but I've also added a little plastic washer underneath each one. That way, if there is any movement in the hugger, it can do so without risking cracking the carbon, which will obviously affect its finish. What I am also going to do, because I have noticed that back here there is a little bit of movement, and I'm concerned that that's going to catch the wheel. So, with that in mind, what I've got is some VHB tape, very high bond. It's the kind of stuff that you use to stick number plates on. So I'm going to stick a strip along the inside of here, and then just stick it to the inside of the spring arm. I think that'll be perfect for this job. Let's take a strip of this. It's really strong stuff. It's really good for number plates. Take some of this, and that should be plenty. Yeah. If you're in the market for some double-sided tape, this is the stuff to buy. So yeah, that will basically stick to the inside of here, and that should hold it nice and firm. So what I'll do, I'll offer this back up, get these 3 bolts in, and then we'll look at this side after I've removed this. Get it all lined up first. And then just press it into place. And that should do the job nicely. It's quite strong stuff, so. Okay then, so next, let's get this bolt fitted. What we need to do is add the spacer and the washer. Spacer's got a neat little chamfer on it just to clear the weld. Okay. Then all we need to do, fit another washer and a nut. Washer and a nylon nut. And I think that is that. think that'll do the job nicely. Right, what we'll do, we'll get the wheel on, make sure that the hugger doesn't fall on the wheel, and then we can call that a job. And there we go. Sits nice. Looks really cool. And it's not interfering with the wheel. So all I need to do now, put the wheel nut back on, adjust the tension in the chain, and we can call that a job. Looks pretty nice. I'm quite pleased with that.